Your brain already has the storage capacity to remember every book you've ever read, every lecture, every conversation, every idea. The problem is not storage. The problem is organization. See, the CIA had a problem. They needed operatives who could memorize entire dossiers, faces, languages, surveillance routes, passwords, thousands of pieces of information, and they had to recall it instantly. No phone, no notebook, no Google. So they built a system, a cognitive operating system, one that turns your brain into something very different. Not a messy notebook, a hard drive. I'm going to show you exactly how it works. And by the end of this video, you will never try to memorize information the same way again. Chapter 1. The Compression Protocol. Here's the first mistake everyone makes. They try to remember individual facts, dates, names, definitions, loose information. Your brain hates this. Cognitive psychologist George Miller discovered something brutal in 1956. Your working memory can only hold 7 items at once. 7. That's it. Try remembering 20 facts. Your brain crashes. Too much cognitive load. Most students respond by trying harder. Reading more, highlighting more, taking more notes. Idiots. Elite learners do the opposite. They compress. CIA analysts don't memorize thousands of facts. They compress information into intelligence packets. Patterns. One pattern equals dozens of facts. This is called chunking. Chess grandmasters use it. Psychologist Adrienne de Groot studied them in the 1940s. Masters didn't remember individual pieces. They remembered board patterns. A beginner sees chaos. A master sees a structure. CIA training works the same way. Imagine memorizing a file about a target. Beginner method: name, age, job, address, family, political beliefs. 6 different facts. Hard to remember. CIA method: one identity pattern. Disgruntled engineer with financial pressure. Now everything attaches to that pattern. Job, debt, motives, behavior. 1 chunk. Suddenly memory becomes lighter. It's not about having a bigger hard drive. It's about zip filing the data. You are trying to carry groceries in your arms. They put everything in bags. But compression alone won't save you, because even compressed information can disappear. Your brain deletes data constantly, which leads to the second system. Chapter 2. The interrogation method. Most people study by reviewing. Reading the same material again and again. Feels productive, feels smart, it's useless. Psychologists call this the illusion of competence. You recognize the words, so you think you know the material. You don't. Henry Roediger proved this in 2006. Students who repeatedly reread material performed far worse than students who tested themselves. The difference? Almost 50% retention improvement. Why? Because memory is built during retrieval, not during review. Think of it like this. Reading is watching the gym. Testing yourself is lifting the weights. CIA training uses something called forced recall interrogation. Trainees read a report. Then the instructor closes the file and starts asking questions. Rapid fire. What was the target's mother's occupation? What city did he visit in 2014? What restaurant did he meet the contact in? No notes, no hints, just retrieval. Your brain panics. Neurochemicals flood your hippocampus. Mistakes light up your memory circuits. That moment of struggle? That is the learning. Every retrieval attempt strengthens the neural pathway, even when you get it wrong, especially when you get it wrong. Robert Bjork calls this desirable difficulty. Easy studying feels good. Hard studying works. CIA trainees spend more time testing memory than reading information. And you can do the same thing. Read a page, close the book, explain it from memory, out loud. If you can't explain it, you didn't learn it. But here's the problem though. Even strong memories decay fast. Your brain leaks information constantly, which leads to the third system. Chapter 3. The algorithm. Your brain forgets aggressively. Psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus mapped this in 1885. The forgetting curve. After 1 day, you lose 50% of new information. After 1 week, up to 90% gone. Your brain is a leaky bucket. Most people try to fight this by cramming. Long study sessions, hours of review. Wrong strategy. The CIA doesn't fight forgetting. They schedule around it. They use spaced reinforcement. You review information right before the brain deletes it. That moment of near forgetting creates maximum encoding strength. Every successful recall strengthens the neural trace. Eventually, the memory stabilizes. Permanent storage. Medical students use software for this, Anki. The program calculates your forgetting curve, schedules reviews perfectly. You see the flashcards seconds before the brain would forget it. Your brain interprets this as a survival signal. This information matters. Lock it in. CIA operatives train memory the same way. Short bursts, repeated across days, not marathon study sessions. 10 minutes in an elevator. 5 minutes waiting for coffee. Memory training in the cracks of the day. You complain you don't have time. They build a learning system that runs in the background of life. But even this isn't the real secret. Because the most powerful memory system they use doesn't rely on repetition at all. Hit subscribe before you forget. We fix memory leaks here. And the next method is the one memory champions use to memorize entire decks of cards in minutes. Chapter 4. The spatial hard drive. Your brain evolved for one thing above all else: navigation. For hundreds of thousands of years, survival depended on remembering locations. Food sources, water, shelter, danger. Because of this, your brain developed an incredibly powerful system. Spatial memory, the hippocampus. Neuroscientists discovered something fascinating in London taxi drivers. A famous study at University College London. Drivers who memorized the city's streets developed larger hippocampi. Their brains literally rewired for spatial memory. CIA instructors use this system deliberately. It's called the memory palace. Instead of storing information as floating words, you attach it to locations. Your house, your office, your daily walking route. Each room becomes a storage folder. Your kitchen counter, a password. Your couch, a key concept. Your bathroom mirror, today's tasks. Now, when you mentally walk through the house, the information appears automatically. Why? Because your brain evolved to remember places. Lists are unnatural. Locations are ancient. Memory champions use this to memorize thousands of digits. CIA operatives use it to memorize surveillance plans. You can use it to remember entire books. Your brain isn't bad at memory. You've just been storing information in the wrong format. Random text instead of spatial data. But here's the problem though. Even with compression, retrieval, spacing, and memory palaces, most people still fail. Why? Because they overload the system. Too much input, too much noise, which leads to the final rule. Chapter 5. The scarcity rule. The internet destroyed your memory. Unlimited access to information. Google anything, anytime sounds powerful. It's actually a disaster. Psychologist Betsy Sparrow discovered something called the Google effect. When your brain knows information is easily searchable, it refuses to store it. Why remember something when your phone can do it for you? Your memory moves outside your brain, into the cloud. CIA training does the opposite. Extreme constraint. Agents study from limited sources only. 3 reports, 3 briefings, 3 documents. They master them completely. Depth over breadth. Scarcity forces memory. When you only have 3 sources, you reread them. Test them, explain them, internalize them. When you have infinite sources, you skim everything and remember nothing. Your brain becomes a search engine, not a storage system. CIA operatives can't Google things in the field, so their brains adapt. Memory becomes mission critical, which rewires the way they learn. So let's recap. The CIA memory system isn't magic. It's architecture, compression, interrogation, spaced reinforcement, spatial storage, scarcity, 5 layers. Stack them together, and your brain stops behaving like a messy notebook. It becomes something much more powerful, a structured hard drive. But here's the thing though, even if your memory becomes perfect, there is still one problem. Most people memorize the wrong information. They store trivia, facts that don't matter, useless details, which means they still fall behind people who know what to learn. That's why I made this video breaking down the 20% of knowledge that creates 80% of results. Once you combine that with the CIA memory system, learning becomes almost unfair. Watch that next.